I hate politics so much, but with everything that's going on right now, the war that has been commencing for what, about a week now, uh, unfortunately, the majority and bulk of displaced and exploited children will most likely be coming from Iran and the other places that are getting bombed, and even most likely Israel itself, possibly. And maybe, we should take a lesson from that, because it's never been about the regular people, the everyday people in any country. It's never been about them. In fact, they're the ones who are hated in this whole situation. It's always the leaders, including our own in the United States, especially the United States, but and like every other country abroad. The elite have literally infiltrated every single government. I don't think there is a government that doesn't have someone from this creepy, weird reptilian bloodline that's running the world right now. And it's showing big time. But what they're trying to do hasn't been working so far, but who knows, maybe if they keep trying hard enough. What they're really trying to do is to get all of us poor people to fight amongst each other, to make it about Christians versus Muslims versus Republican versus Democrat versus liberal versus conservative versus black versus white, men versus women. Just like the Willie Lynch standard. You know what I mean? Just whatever difference there is, use that to turn it against each other. And it's the tales all the time. They're doing it even though it's weak and people still haven't fully caught up yet. They are catching up and are seeing through it. You can see it every day. Just the other day, I was out and about. I was in the pharmacy, and I just got in a conversation with the guy in front of me, and we literally were saying out loud how pedophiles are running the world. Literally, if we had done this, had this conversation had come up a year ago, everyone in that place would have looked at us like we were crazy. No one even flinched, because everyone knows the truth now. Everyone knows the truth now. And it's like they're really rushing and pushing this war to destabilize everything as quickly as they can, because they know it's inevitable. They know everyone's waking up, everyone's catching up. It's a really precarious time, in history. Right now, it's a very precarious time. It's starting to feel more and more every day. Even the small decisions we make, even though we think they're small and insignificant, like we've always been taught, they're starting to feel a lot more consequential. And that's why I'm trying to be extra careful with how, I word everything. Because I just hate all this. I hate war. I really wanted to keep my head in the sand on this one. I was one of the idiots a couple months back that was really thinking, wow, maybe we're actually about to have world peace. Or can we actually see it in our lifetime? Is it possible? For a couple months back, it was looking bright. You know what I mean? But obviously, there's always a lot more going on in the world than what your leaders want you to believe. Obviously, this is a problem that's been a conflict in the making for a long time, possibly longer than everyone who's alive right now currently, as far as the humans, that is. I'm not talking about the reptiles that are running the world. They live incredibly long lifespans, so they're obviously alive still. I'm talking about like the humans. It's a whole new generation. And they're all just like little puppets and robots, just doing their part for their reptilian masters. I know YouTube's gonna get, they don't like me anyway. I don't care. I'm over trying to appease YouTube. They can suck my dick too. In fact, all of y'all can. All of y'all can. I'm just gonna say how I feel, because I still can. I'm an American and I live in America, so I'm just going to say how I feel. You know why? Because I don't like it when my country is bombing school full of little girls, little innocent girls, like you see on the screen right in front of you right now, and saying they're doing it for our sake. I don't like that, and I do not abide by that. I don't stand by that. In fact, I think it's disgusting and vile. This propaganda, isn't it funny they say that the Muslims are the terrorists, the Muslims are the terrorists. Well, why are these terrorists always hurting their own people? Like, I literally heard someone try to say that Iran possibly could have bombed their own school with their own little girls. Yeah, right. Like, I believe that for a moment. For any second at all. No, I don't believe that. But yeah, so as usual, Israel, because they're God's chosen people, they're obviously going to be in the right no matter what the situation is, because it says so in the Bible, right? Right? And listen, who started Judaism? I mean, let's just be real. And a lot of scholars agree with me. I'm not just pulling this out of my butt here. A lot of scholars are of the opinion that Enlil from ancient Samaria, Mesopotamia, is actually Yahweh from the Old Testament. And there's a lot of things that back this up. The Bible itself says Abraham, where did he come from? He came from ancient Mesopotamia, ancient Samaria. That's where Abraham came from. So, there's a lot more to this than just, me saying that. And Enlil, and like the Canaanites called him El. It's the same deity, the same monster who's been terrorizing humanity for a long time. And in my opinion, I'm of the opinion he is very much still alive and doing the same thing. If not him, definitely either his son or one of his descendants is doing. I think it's him. They live a very long time. I think it's him. And he's still terrorizing us. You don't believe me? Okay. Well, here's just one little example of why I still think that these people are beholden to Enlil, Yahweh, whatever you want to call him on whatever day. Let's break down the word. What does the word elite actually mean? Let's break it down into root pieces. Okay? ITE, the root word ITE, ites, is a collective group of people. Okay? And El, the prefix to the word, El, is an ancient Sumerian deity, Enlil. El-Eat, those are his people. He has had this weird pact with them for all these centuries. Their descendants and them, they just climb through the ranks in every society. They always do. They always get favors handed to them. I don't know if he tampered with their genetics. I don't know if they're of his lineage. I don't know why he specifically chose Abraham. I don't have any of those answers. I just know what's in front of us, what we research in our ancient texts, and what's playing out in our faces right now. And for the last, at least recorded history, the last, 2,000 years or so, it seems to be the same royal family. Like, literally, even like the royals of today are descended from like the ancient Roman emperors. Like, they're related. Like, so don't you see? It's like the same families that are always doing this. It's really like, it's crazy, like how long they've been getting away with this. But anyways, these are Enlil's people. Like, maybe he didn't tamper with their genetics. Maybe they're just regular humans who are just consistently selling out other humans. And I guess it's easy to do when you start with those earlier generations and you traumatize these children and do blood rituals and you do blood sacrifices and you do child rape and things like that. Eventually you're going to have like a mind-controlled group of people. It's just inevitable, that's, And a lot of whistleblowers have come out and even confirmed this. A lot of people who were part of these elite families, they're not all Jewish, by the way. They're not all Jewish. This specific line of elites is in a lot of different places, but, that's just one of them. But a lot of whistleblowers have come out and have said that like they'll masquerade as one religion and then like behind closed doors, they'll be doing like child rape and child sacrifice. That's like who's running the world. And it's on both sides. So if you think you can vote in the midterms for a Democrat and you're going to get rid of it, no. Listen, this is how fucked we are. This is how we're all enslaved, okay? Because they give you two options every election, right? Two options. The option one being like, I guess the Democrats, they think it's okay to like, not all of them, but the ones who are in power think you should be able to hack off children's private parts and let them change gender if they want to. And then you got the other side, the Republican side, who are just as bad. I mean, in fact, they're even worse in a way, because they're sitting there pretending to have this moral high ground, like, no, family first, family values and all. And meanwhile, they're fucking their own children. So I don't know, you tell me, which president do you want to vote for? The one who condones, experimenting with gender and things like that? Or do you condone the president who is raping their own children? Which one lets us win and evolve as humanity? They're both terrible options. And we are given this illusion that those are the only options we have. But we're free. We're free, I thought. We're free. Well, we're not that free. We're not that free. We can't escape the pedophiles and the child exploiters. I mean, as long as you don't want to escape them, then I guess you're free. Sure. You know what I mean? It's just sick. I don't know, guys. I feel as helpless as everyone else does. I like I said, politics is not my favorite topic. But I'm talking about it today because the inevitable result in every single war, and in my opinion, I think it's the goal. I think it's the ultimate goal. You know how, at the end of every war, everyone struggles to actually come up with an excuse or legitimize any war at all? I think it's because the ultimate point of these wars is to have a lot of displaced, disillusioned children, orphan children. Because that is, the ultimate result of, every war. I think they were running dry where they closed the border this last year, because that's how they were getting their supply of children there for the last few years. The border was wide open and all these cartels were just dragging in these little children across the border by the thousands, hundreds of thousands even. Then all of a sudden that spigot got cut off and dried up. So these rich and powerful elites in Enlil is desperate for the blood of more children. So, that's why do you think they seem so desperate to have this war started? You know what I mean? Because they want to appease their master. I don't believe it's because humans just genuinely just are so psychotic and deranged, just love to watch death and suffering. I don't believe that. I don't. I believe that Enlil is behind this. I believe he's trying to keep us from waking up. I wouldn't put it past him to try to do a whole other freaking global flood. Who gets to repopulate the world after that? Is it his bloodline? This bloodline he chose? Do they get to rewrite history again for us all? Send our kids off to fight and die in their wars and then rewrite history? Pretend to be the victims, blame it on a bunch of other people, use that as an excuse to legitimize a genocide. It seems to be this cycle that we just can't, when can we get out of this crazy cycle? Why is it so hard to find people in power who, think about this. Why is it so hard for people in power to actually want to help children? Not just say they want to help children, but actually go above and beyond. Tell the donors in their faces, no, I don't care about your money. I'm not going to hurt any more children. Surely, I'm not crazy in thinking that there should be more people willing to stand up for children. That's another reason that makes me think that they're all just MK Ultra mind slaves. Because I don't think humans are just going to willingly sell out their children. I don't believe that. I think we've been groomed for this. I think we've been groomed for a very long time to just turn a blind eye to this stuff. I don't know. I mean, am I crazy? I might be. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being crazy. And you know what? I'm okay with whatever name they want to give us poor folks. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I'm not going to lie and sit here and say, I don't want to be rich. Of course I do. Of course I do. But I would like to think that if I ever was rich, I wouldn't eat a baby or harm a child. In fact, I'd rather just die. You know what I mean? Than to do anything like that. How could you even live with yourself? Maybe, I don't know, maybe they at least have this medicine where it numbs their consciousness so they can just get away with reveling in the death and destruction of other countries. I don't know. I don't know what their secret is. But it's all these rich people are just cool with it. Well, no wonder. Because when all the prices over here, because if you really get down to the superficial stuff of it, the financials end of it, It doesn't affect them either because they're rich at the end of the day. What does it matter to them if gas is, to a billionaire, why would they care if gas is $3 versus $10 a gallon? Why would they care? It doesn't affect them. You know what I'm saying? So, like, of course they don't care. And of course they don't care that it's the poor people's children that are going to do this. That's how much they hate us. They hate us that much. They hate us that much. But yeah, I'm not, like, listen, I don't claim to know what's going on in the Middle East. I don't know, if, like, I don't know if these terrorists are good people. I don't know if they're bad people. I don't necessarily just buy that they're, like, I never bought that Hamas was just slaughtering and genociding their own people. That never made sense to me. That propaganda, they can just stop at that point. We know Hamas is not killing their own people. I'm not saying they haven't. I'm saying the IDF is very much genociding children in Israel. And that's been going on for a couple years now. Probably even longer. But it's been a lot more public in recent years. And now that the Epstein files are out, isn't it funny how, like, all this scandal in the Epstein, it was like all everyone was talking about, then suddenly, bam, we're in war with Iran. Like, no attempts for diplomacy, no attempts to negotiate. Like, of course you're not going to negotiate. How could you negotiate when you don't even know why you're doing it to begin with? If you can't even come up with a good reason as to why we're doing it, obviously diplomacy isn't going to work. Because you can't even explain why we're doing this. Like, come on. We cannot fall for the same line. It has been too recent. Like, it wasn't that long ago when they were telling us Iraq had weapons of mass destruction. It was not that long ago. Like, usually they wait much longer in between these conflicts, at least for a whole generation to come and go before they start recycling the same lies. Like, they are really desperate. Like, they are really desperate for this war. Like, getting downright emotional about this war and the possibility of not going to war. I remember when, like, Lindsey Graham was like, oh my God, he sounded like a dying goat too. It was so funny. I've laughed about that clip so many times when he was going on and on about how he stood with the Iranians. Oh my God, it was so funny. He was like, people of Iran, I stand with you. Like he was like, oh my gosh, so intensely emotional. Like, where is this coming from? What is this? Where is he from? Texas? Where is he from? Lindsey Graham from? I don't even know. But, like, somewhere in the South, he sounds like. Like, why does he care so much about this? To the point of tears. When you can't even get him to talk about, like, I don't even know where his district is. Like, does he know what his district is going on? He is so focused on what's going on in Israel and Iran. Who in his district is voting for this man? He's obviously not looking out for you all. It's madness. Oh my God, yes. I hope that, like, you know what I hope? I hope the people who win the midterms are the fill-in voters. I really do. I really do. Because if your name is typed on the ballot, you had to, most likely, allegedly, probably had to eat or sacrifice a child to get your name there. And I just don't trust it anymore. Anyone whose name is printed on the ballots anymore, I just can't trust. I just can't in good consciousness trust them anymore. But anyways, that's just me. I hope you all have a good day. Yeah, keep talking about it because this is such bullshit. Have a good day.